Hello, my name is Randy Dobson. I'm an instructor for the Lone Star College System here in Houston, Texas. And this video will be covering for my advanced students in Autocad. This is actually Chapter 6, Problem 2 assignment, which I've got up here on the screen. Many of y'all have worked on this, but there's a small few of y'all that are having a problem, so I'm going to be showing you how to create this in 3D modeling. I'll bring this back up here, but as I'm working on it, if you have access to this, go ahead and keep this up. That way I want to keep a full screen of AutoCAD, easier for me to show things. So as you can tell, I've got my 3D environment set up here in AutoCAD 2016, and the first thing that I want to do for this problem is switch to my top view on my view cube up here on the right, so I can work in 2D for some of the basic information. The first thing that I am going to draw is a circle, and if you notice on the assignment, the diameter of the circle is 66 of the large circle, so I'm going to come up here to center diameter and just pick anywhere here on the screen and type in 66. Zoom out a little bit. So there is our large circle. Now if you look on the problem, you see there's a little notch out, little key part up here on the top, and what I'm going to do is I need to draw a construction line, so I'm going to go line, and then I'm going to type in QUA for the quadrant, and I want to come down here to this circle, this quadrant down here at the bottom, and bring this straight up. I'm going to turn my ortho on, F8, and just kind of click anywhere right there. So this is going to be a construction line for me. Again, if you look on the assignment, the little key out or whatever little notch is 16 units wide, so I'm going to go and do offset, and I'm going to enter 8. And I'm going to go on each side of this construction line. Excuse me. So I go on the right, pick the center one, go to the left, and hit escape. And now this center line I don't need anymore, so I'm just going to highlight that and delete it. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I want to get this line that goes across the little key out, and if you notice on the assignment, the distance from this bottom of this circle to the top is 76. So once again I'm going to draw a line, and I probably could have done this at the first for my construction, but I will do it again. I'm going to go quadrant, QUA, and I'm going to go up. Instead of it being an arbitrary point, I am going to type in 76, enter. So there is the limit of that, so I'm just going to pull it off to the right and click and then hit escape, and now I've made that little edge. Now I can get rid of this line again, and I need to clean up these corners, so I will just use fillet, and that should be right here. I don't want any radius. As you see, I've got a radius of 0 down here because I want it to be a square. So I go this line to this line, and now to repeat my same command, actually I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go back up and hit fillet again, and I'm going to pick this line and this line. So I've got the little key out area, I've got the circle, so now I just need to trim this up to make it nice, so I can turn it into a polyline. So I'm going to come up here to trim, and I'm going to pick this line, and this circle as my cutting edges. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to get rid of that line, get rid of that line, and get rid of that line. Now as I highlight this, oops, I got some extra lines down here. I'm going to erase those. You see these two extra little lines. if I highlight this, you can see that this is a bunch of different, here's a circle or an arc now, here's a line, there's a line. And if you remember in my instructions, for you to change a 2D object to a 3D model, it needs to be closed and it needs to be one object. So in this case, these are all separate. So what I'm going to do is type in join, J-O-I-N, enter, and I'm going to pick all of these lines and arcs. I select them, hit enter. Now watch, when I hover over, it's one object. Now the next thing I want to create are the four circles. If you notice, the center of those circles has a diameter of 36, so I'm going to go back up here to center diameter. I'm going to pick the center of this circle and I'm going to type in 36. Now the convenient thing about these four circles are they're all located at the quadrants right here where these four grips are, the four little blue squares. So I'm going to do another circle, diameter, and when it asks me for the base point, I'm actually going to type in QUA, enter, and I'm going to pick that quadrant right there, and the diameter is 6, so I just type in 6. Now I could do that for all of the remaining quadrants, but to save a little time, I'm just going to come up here to copy, and I'm going to pick this circle. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go from the center of this circle right here, the little one, and now I'm just going to type in QUA, enter, and that will go to this quadrant, and QUA, enter, will go to this quadrant, and then QUA, enter to here. I hit escape. The circle that I drew here was just to set these little ones, so I don't need it anymore, so I'm just going to select it and erase. Now I've done all I can as a 2D object. So getting out of the top mode, I'm going to come up here to home, and now I've got it at that little isometric view, so when I add the thickness to it, I can see it. If I go back here to top and try to add a thickness, even though I can do it, you really can't visualize it. So using the home up here on the right, I can visualize it. So now I've got these 2D objects. I come up here to one of these selections. I want to turn it into a 3D, so I go to extrude. Now since I want to extrude everything, wait for the command to kick in there. There we go. I'm going to window in everything. I'm going to hit enter, and as you can see, it wants to extrude. You can either go down or up. We want to have it pointed up, and per the instructions, the thickness is 8. So now I type 8, and there is my object. Now the very last command that I need to do is I want these, where these little circles are, I need to take those out so it can make openings. And let me kind of just flip it around. I think the assignment looks more like this, just so you can kind of get a visual. Let me kind of pop back. There's the assignment right there. Now I need to take out these four circles. So to do that, I'm going to go up here to the subtract, and I'm going to select subtract. Remember, the first thing that you select is the object you want to keep. So I'm going to pick the outside of this big object. Once I've selected that, I hit the enter key. Now it wants to know subtract select objects down here at the bottom. If you can see that down here. And instead of trying to individually pick these, I'm going to use my window, making sure that I don't get the big object in there. And as you can see, there's one circle, there's two circles, there's 3 and 4. So I've got all 4 of them. I select on my mouse button, the left mouse click, and then I just hit enter, and there I'm done. So as you can see, I've got my object drawn. There's my 4 openings in there, and it is a 3D object. And that concludes this assignment. Thank you.